Alright, and gonna have another uh, gameplay. This time, Sylvans versus Ghostricks. That's right. This was an interesting game because I don't play against Ghostricks very often, and I had arguably one of the worst hands ever. Like I'm testing playing with the Dragon Rulers. So far, I'm only really using Blaster, though Tidal might be a better option. I haven't decided. But I don't play too many fire targets in my deck. If when I get around to doing the deck profile, you'll notice that I don't actually play 3 Hermit-trees, so that really cuts down on the fire targets. And I don't really want to be banishing lone fires that often. He may stay, he might not, it depends, but yeah, let's see how this goes. So I let my opponent go first. He set his field spell, which really is annoying. If you don't know what Ghostricks do, basically they flip stuff up, flip stuff down, and if all your monsters are face down, like they're all weak attack monsters, like their best monster is like 1500 attack, I think, I don't know. Actually, their best monster is an Xyz monster, but yeah, if all your monsters are face down, they can attack you directly, and if their monsters are face down, you can't attack them, but you can attack directly. Of course, they have a lot of counter measures and things. Like, it would be fun to see if someone can make a Ghost Trick Exodia deck because they can stall. Actually, Ghost Trick Final Countdown would probably be better, but you know, I like that would be so trolls. Um, but yeah, and then when you attack or they take damage, um, like if it's not a Ghost Trick monster doing the attack, like the damage is halved. But yeah, so I have a rather slop or bad hand, but it gets better. I get first turn lone fire, so I can make some plays off this. First things first, I want to get rid of that field spell because that is pretty nasty. So yeah, first turn lone fire, and I decided to go for. That's another thing with my Sylvan build. I play flower princesses. I don't play a pure Sylvan build. Probably as you can tell from the Dragon Ruler. So I go first turn to Leia, just because. Right, because I have Miracle Fertilizer in my hand. So I know that Sylvans, they can't really get over this unless, well, she only has 1200 defense, so that was probably something I really overlooked. But yeah, Sylvans can't really get over this that easily, not in the early stages of the game. So because I had Miracle Fertilizer in hand, I knew next turn. Oh, and I had a Waboku, that's why I wasn't afraid of it, her only having 1200 defense. Because even if they tried to attack my monster, which Ghostricks don't, they would have put her face down and attack over her for direct attacks. But I had a Waboku, so I would have been able to protect her, unless they Dark Hold, of course, and anything like that. But again, it's Ghostricks. They don't really rely on that. They don't want to destroy their own field. Well, they do. This is a needle ceiling, which will destroy face-up monsters, but there's not enough monsters on the field. So I knew next turn I could get a second one of her, and that will create a Talea lock, because she gains 100 attack, including herself, for every plant on the field. So I would have 2 Taleas, 2 3000 attack monsters, and they both protect each other from card effects. Well, they can't be destroyed by card effects. They can still get flipped up and down by the Ghostricks, which made them a bit annoying, but yeah, like, if they did try, like, that actually becomes very important later. They do attempt to use Needle Sealing on me. And because I had both Taleas, nothing got destroyed. Like, that was a very bad misplay on my opponent. But yeah, like, they will lock the field and protect your monsters from card effects, which is quite nice. And then I also played my field spells, so that way, just to try and intimidate him, I guess. But it was also, like, I forgot that there was the new, because this is YuGiOh Pro, there's also the ruling where both players will have field spells and the player who goes first doesn't draw. Which, for me, I would like to go first, but at the same time, that not drawing, that really hurts me. So I always need to draw, especially with that bad hand I had. I needed to draw that Lone Fire, I would have been in big trouble. So yeah, so they got lucky. They drew into their other one. They had Witch Flip, put my card face down. Yeah, and then they could flip themselves back now. Oh, and then I also, the other advantage of having the field spell is that I get to check what I draw. So I saw that I drew Call of the or that I was going to draw Call of the Haunted, and I had the option to put it on top or bottom of the deck. I chose top because that meant I could use Lone Fire yet again, which is actually quite nice. So I flipped Talea, Miracle Fertilizer, grab Lone Fire. Now I have 2 Taleas, they're 3,000 each. Of course he played Jack Frost. The fact that he had double Jack Frost was like, what? So he basically negates my attack and plays Jack Frost face down and flips my cards face down. So I just have a field full face downs, and his Needle Ceiling is good to go whenever I flip those up. He drew a Lure of Darkness, but he didn't manage to, he did not manage to actually draw any dark monsters, so he lost his entire hand. My opponent, he's going to just attack me directly. I don't activate the Wabuku because I didn't feel that I really needed it. And he gets to put his stuff back down. I put Peacekeeper, get my Lone Fire, crazy shenanigans. So I'm gonna flip my Taleas. The better play for him would have been, I assume he didn't know about the Talea locking the field. The better play for him would have been to flip Needle Ceiling the second that I flipped the first Talea. Like, my Lone Fire Blossom would have stayed on the field, but I would have lost one of the Taleas, which would have been to his advantage. But because he waited for me to flip the second one up, he thought he could destroy everything, but I ended up not losing anything, and he ends up going minus because of that. Lone Fire is going to get Dandelion. Call the Haunted brings back Lone Fire. Lone Fire. In my head, I was going to get rid of Dandelion with Lone Fire and keep the Lone Fire on field, but I realized I would have had a field full of nothing, and I would have had a full field, and I would not have been able to special summon anything using, or either I would not have gotten the Dandy tokens, or I would not have gotten my yeah, I'm pretty sure if I did that, I would not have gotten my Dandy tokens when I got my tuner out. So I ended up opting to have Lone Fire tribute itself, get Spore, then grab Armory Arm. And so that way, at least now, when Dandelion goes to the field, I get my fluff tokens. So now I pretty much have a full field. Armory Arm is the only non-plant monsters, so Talea will still protect the tokens, even though the tokens can still get attacked. The Armory Arm, it has a cool effect where it'll send itself to the... I can use it to equip to monsters, increase their attack, and do shenanigans. Which, while Ghostrick House was on the field, I couldn't really make use of, but it gave me a nice attack boost to really hurt my opponent. See, like 4,200. So yeah, because my attacks were halved, it really did help to at least level the playing field. Though, yeah, at this point, it's like did I have enough? Yeah, I had 2 Lone Fires engraved, so I could have gone Blaster for more damage, but I didn't want to banish the only 2 Lone Fires I had. He drew a Ghostrick go around, which really makes things annoying. And of course he had... Okay, so this is the good Xyz monster that they have. And this is why I'm glad that I saved Wabuku. So because they used Witch to flip my Talea face down, I lost my Armory Arm, which to me wasn't that big of a deal. Yeah, so Ghostrick Dullahan. Him and the Alucard are some of the better Ghostrick monsters, but Dullahan's actually quite nasty. He gains quite a lot of attack for every Ghostrick in Graveyard, and he has the effect where he can detach and make another monster on the field lose half their attack. So he can get over quite a lot of things. But yeah, because I was able to protect Talea, that really helped. I used Flower Knight, put Hermitry on top. Just because I knew that I had the tokens, and since the tokens actually managed to survive, I was just going to sacrifice them for Hermitry, for the tribute. Overlay for Giant Grinder, which I normally that's a bit of a waste, but it's actually not too bad because it's a quick, easy way to get rid of Dullahan. Because if you attack Dullahan, he can still detach. So this was a quick, like, okay, I don't want your card on the field. I'm just going to destroy and inflict damage. So he's going to lose 500 damage because, whoops, when Grinder destroys an Xyz monster, he can only destroy special summon monsters, but if it's an Xyz, he'll take half the original attack, which was 1,000. But before he lost his monster, he decided to detach and take off from Hermitry, which that's sort of annoyed me, but it wasn't anything too bad. I used Mount, sent that, put Marsh Leaf on top. He decided to use Go Around. Like, I don't know why he decided to use Go Around. Oh, because I think he wanted to flip my card face down. But because I activated the Marsh Leaf, I was able to destroy his monster. I don't know what exactly happened there. And then I got an extra draw, which was Mini Cuts. Spore. And then I synchroed for Leo, just because he's a huge monster and I could. And, like, Leo, I thought I was safe because he's like, oh, it can't be targeted. But the Ghostricks, they don't exactly target. Yeah, they don't, Ghostricks don't target, surprisingly. So I found my Leo just getting flipped up and down all the time, which was quite a bit frustrating. Like, yeah, he just, nope, flipped face down. Like, everybody's like, oh, Leo is such a great card because you can't target with him. Ghostricks don't target. Spellbook of Fate doesn't target. There's a lot of things to get around Leo. Like, why people worry about Leo, I don't know. But it's funny because there are some decks that, like, because he's 3100 attack, they can't get around him, which is somewhat amusing. So Mount, I didn't want that, so I put it on the bottom, drew Dimensional Prison, flipped my Leo, tried to attack again. Like, of course he's going to flip my card face down. And at this point, I'm just like, I should have summoned Blaster. Like, I don't know what his advantage. Oh, that was good because I could go Lone Fire, flip Leo, Lone Fire for Cherub Sprout, try and get a good Excavate. I got a Peacekeeper, which was quite nice. Went Formula. Well, now stuff's happening too fast. Like, why? I thought, like, oh, I was a little confused because I thought I had 2 Peacekeepers go off in the same turn, when in reality it was at the end of my opponent's turn and then my follow-up turn. So I pretty much got back-to-back Peacekeepers, which was quite nice. So I went Formula Synchron just so that way I can draw an extra card, and it became Miracle Fertilizer, which was really good because it allowed me to get Fallen Angel, which I then used Formula to get Gigantic Castle. Because at this point, like, I know my attacks are going to be half, so I just wanted to fill the field with everything that I could. So in all reality, I probably could have used Grinder to destroy his Jack Frost, but then he probably would have just flipped Jack Frost face down using Ghostrick Go Around or something like that. I don't know. I wanted to keep Grinder on the field in case he played another Dullahan. And then, yeah, at this point I banish my tree and my Lone Fire because I always want to keep one Lone Fire in grave, even though I pretty much used 2. Yeah, and there's 1 banished Peacekeeper, so I used 3 Peas and 2 Miracle Fertilizer, so I didn't really have any way to get another Lone Fire, so I probably could have banished that instead of the tree, but at this point, it's like I'm just trying to go for all the damage. And yeah, this one he deprisons. Like, Ghostricks are ridiculously good at stalling, but this is pretty much the end. And Blaster, when he's specialed, he goes back to my hand. But when I special summon him using his effects of banishing. So I excavated a Marsh Leaf, or not Marsh Leaf, Flower Knight. I put Marsh Leaf on top. I don't know why I did that. Oh, right, because at this point I pretty much exhausted most of my Sylvans. So I figured, oh, I'll just put Marsh Leaf and Excavate. Yeah, I just put Marsh Leaf, chose to Excavate too. I got the Mushroom and MST, because I knew I wanted to get rid of something. At least one of these, because these are getting annoying, though the better option probably would have been House. But yeah, I ended up popping one of these, attacking. He flipped my card, drew a Spectre, I attacked his monster. He played Spectre. And at this point, it's pretty much game for my opponent. Like, he doesn't have much to come back from. Like, he plays his entire hand. Right, why did I pause? I deprison his only monster. Like, why he flipped that, but... And now it's my turn, and this is pretty much game, because he has a face-up monster that I can attack. And I have my Fertilizer. And he's... Yeah, I draw Sylvans, Summon Blaster. It's game. Like, I went overboard, and it's game. So he rage quit. But yeah, that was actually quite a fun duel that I had, so... Hope you all enjoyed. Till next time.